Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how we can make our very own Chinese dragon puppet. So what you're going to need for this activity is some glue, a pen or a pencil to draw with, a pair of scissors, some sticky tape, some card, some paper. You can use coloured paper or plain white paper, and some tissue paper. Additional extras might be some pastels or crayons to colour with. And I'm going to add some extra decoration using some sticky dots. You might not have these things, so that's fine. You might also want to use some googly eyes. So if you've got googly eyes, go and fetch those as well. Okay, first things first. Let's start with the body of our dragon. Now, I don't have any coloured paper at home, but that's not a problem. So what I'm going to do instead of using coloured paper is I'm going to create my own coloured paper using my pastels. So if you've got coloured paper, you can skip this step and you can just move on to the next step, but it might also be nice to add some decoration as well. So I'm going to choose some colours that I want to use for my dragon. I'm going to choose green, and what I'm going to do is just add some decoration onto my paper. So I might do some circles. And all I'm doing is just adding a bit of extra decoration, pattern and interest so that my dragon looks really, really, really cool. Okay, now this is where I'm going to get my sticky dots out as well. They're going to help me to add some pattern to my paper. And I'm choosing these colours because I think they are quite dragony type colours, but also because they're nice and bright. And I like things that are bright and colourful. I think they make everything look really interesting. Okay, and I'm going to choose these colours as well. I think they look a little bit like scales. The shapes that I've chosen and the colours that I've chosen remind me a little bit of the scales that you'd find on a dragon's back or all over his skin. Here we go. I love sticky dots because you can just use them for so many things. I don't have any googly eyes, so I'm going to use sticky dots for my googly eyes as well. Okay, so that's one of my pages done. I'm going to need to do this on 2 pages. And this one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover the whole thing in some colour. So I'm just going to get my pastel and I'm just going to do some big zigzags. Zigzag, zigzag. Zigzag, zigzag across my whole paper. Zigzag, zigzag. There we go. So I've got my blue zigzags there. I'm going to turn it over. I might do some blue zigzags there as well. Zigzag, zigzag. So you can see I'm using 2 hands, one to hold my paper steady and my other hand to do my zigzag with my pastel. Okay, so there we go. Got both sides there. Oh, what should I do on the other side of this one? I might do some stripes. Got some green stripes here. So there we go. So I'm adding some colour to my plain white paper. Again, if you've got coloured paper at home, you don't necessarily have to do this step, but you might want to. If you've got some yellow paper or green paper, you might still want to add a little bit of pattern and design just so that your puppet is really, really, really interesting and cool to look at. Okay. Oh, I like this pattern. This looks really good. Right, so now I've got my bits of paper decorated. What I need to do is I'm going to put them on top of each other, fold them in half. Okay, so using my finger to push down, fold them in half. Now I've used pastels, which is why my colour is rubbing a little bit, but I don't mind that. You might want to use something else. You might want to use paint even, but you'd have to let the paint dry. Now I'm going to cut down the middle here There we go. And then I'm going to do it one more time as well. So fold it in half, down the length, push it down really hard. That's the secret. Push it down really, really hard. And then I'm going to cut down there again. Cut, 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 cut. There we go. Cut, 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 cut. Oops. Cut. There we go. So I've got 4 pieces there. And last one, just going to fold it down the middle. Push, 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 push. And I'm going to cut down the line that I've made as well. Okay. So now I've made the strips that I need because I'm going to create a concertina body. So the way that we're going to do that is because I want this body to be quite long, is I'm going to attach 2 strips together. And I'm going to use some glue to help me do that. You can use Pritt Stick if you want to. I've just got some PVA here. Doesn't matter what you use. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the end there. And attach that on there. So I've got 2 strips together. You see it's nice and long. Right, and now I'm going to add a 3rd strip on because I do want my dragon to be a nice length. So here we go. I'm going to put a little bit more PVA glue on the end there. Stick that bit on there. There we go. And now I've stuck 3 of my bits of paper together. I've got dots on one side and stripes and dots on the other side. Okay, so that's my first long strip. Then I'm going to get, so that one's spare, I don't need this one. Now I'm going to get 3 of these strips. You could stick all 4 together if you wanted to make it really, really, really long. But I'm just going to do 3 this time. So you stick those 2 there. And more PVA glue just on the bottom, don't need loads. This PVA glue is brilliant, it's so sticky. And put that there. Okay, right, so now, don't need that one, that one's spare. So now I've got my 2 really long strips and they're really beautifully decorated, ready for my dragon's body. Okay, so now we need to get on to the folding. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay them out in the shape of the letter L. I've got that one up there, nice and long. So the trick to this is to have lots of space. So I've laid out, can you see I've made the letter L or L? There we go. Right, now what I'm going to do to help me is I'm going to put a bit more PVA glue here. Put some PVA glue on there, look. And I'm going to stick those 2 bits together and that's going to help me just keep things in place. So I've got my letter L. Now I need to cross them over. So my dotty one is on top at the moment. So now I need to make sure that my stripy one goes on top. So I'm going to fold it over and push it down with my fingers. Now you might need some help to do this, and that's okay, but you will get the hang of it. So now my stripy one's on top and I need to put my dotty one on top. So I'm going to pull it over. Can you see my dotty one's on top now? So now it's time for my stripy one to come on top. And I'm trying to keep it as neat as possible. And I'm pushing down. Can you see I'm always pushing down with my fingers? Yeah, right, stripy's on top now. So now I need dotty. So I'm going to push that one over. Use my fingers, push it down really hard. Now my stripy needs to come on top. Push it down really hard. Now dotty needs to come back over. Push it down really hard. Okay, that's the trick, is to make sure you push it down really hard every time. It should be really, really flat, okay, every time. Next time, bring stripy over. Push it down really, really, really hard, okay? Dotty needs to come back over. Push it down really, really hard. Stripy. Push it down. Dotty. And the more you do it, the more you'll get quicker at it. Okay, Right, stripy. Push it down, dotty. Push it down, stripy. Push it down, dotty. Push it down, stripy. Dotty. Stripy. Oh, we're nearly done. Dotty. Stripy. Dotty. Stripy. Dotty. Stripy. Dotty. Oh, doing really well. Stripy. Oh, I think this might be the last one. Dotty. Stripy and dotty. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that last bit on the end. Can you see the end bit there? Put a little bit of my glue, connect them together. There we go. Right, are we ready for the reveal? See what it's going to look like. Wow, cool. So I've made now the body of my dragon, a concertina. Okay. Right, okay, so we've got that stage made. That's my dragon's body. So I'm just going to leave them there for a second. Now what we need next are a couple of straws, because we're going to turn our dragon into a puppet. Okay, so we're going to get some sellotape. Don't need too much. And we're just going to attach with the tape the straw onto the end of the body. There we go. So attach that into there. Now, if you don't have straws, you might want to use something like kebab sticks or lollipop sticks, or you can just use whatever you've got at home. Something long and relatively strong so that you can hold this body. And then I'm going to put the second one on the opposite end to secure it with the sellotape. There we go. Right, and now we can see we have got the beginnings of our dragon puppet. Okay, that's exciting. Right, so we've done that bit. I'm going to leave that over there for the moment. The next bit is that we need to make our dragon's head. So I'm going to choose to use this card here. Now, if you've got a toilet roll or a kitchen roll or anything like that, you could use that too. I don't have one of those, so I am going to fold my card in half, push it down with my finger. Remember, that's always the trick to good folding and good cutting. And then snippety snippety across the top there, and we're going to roll this into a cylinder. There we go. Now, I don't think I want mine this wide, so I'm going to fold it a little bit more actually. So push that down there, use my thumb, push it down even further. I'm going to cut along the fold line once again. So you can decide how long you want your dragon's head to be. You might want it to be really, really long, and that's fine. So rolling it into a cylinder. There we go. So we're going to have the two ends, and you could staple those together if you wanted to, or you could glue them. I'm just going to tape them for now. So I'm going to get a bit more tape. There we go. I'm going to put it on one end here. If you're using a toilet roll, then you don't need to do this bit, but you probably will want to paint your toilet roll or decorate it in some way so that it doesn't look like a toilet roll. Okay, so here we go. Just putting my tape along there to secure it. Right, now we need to turn this into a dragon looking head. Okay, so I am going to add some fire. And this is where the tissue paper came in. If you don't have tissue paper, you don't need to worry. You could just use some other paper, and you're just going to rip it. Rip it. rip it. And I've used fiery colours, so I got some orange, some yellow and some red, and again just rip, 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 rip. Doesn't matter if it's not totally straight, because remember it's fire, and fire doesn't come in straight lines, so it's no problem. Okay, so here we go. We've got my fire for my dragon. I need to make sure he's a fire breathing dragon. And then on the end here, I'm just going to put my PVA glue. Can you see? Just going to put it all the way around there. Love PVA glue, it's so useful. So just put it all the way through there. That's it. And then I'm just going to get strips of my paper, tissue paper fire, and just put it inside there, look. Oh, this is looking really, really, really great. I'm going to add loads of fire to mine, because there's nothing worse than a dragon that can't breathe out loads and loads of fire. So here we go. Just going to put a bit more PVA glue on top of the fire I've already put on, so that I can stick even more fire in. You see that? Put more in. There we go. My goodness, no one's going to mess with my dragon. Really, really fiery. Okay, I'm going to add even more glue. Look, it's going to really go for it with the fire. Wow. Okay, can you see all of that fire coming out of my dragon's mouth? That's brilliant, isn't it? Okay, right, the next thing that I need to do is I'm going to create some patterns on his head. Okay, so I'm going to put that there for now. I'm going to use an orange card, and if you have a look at Chinese dragons, they often have patterns on the head that are a little bit like this. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to cut that out. Well, first of all, I'm going to cut this one out. So it's just a bit of a zigzag pattern. And I'm going to try and cut around it as carefully as I can. There we go. And you can choose whatever colours you want, because it's your dragon. I've chosen these colours because they do remind me of a dragon, and these are the colour choices I had at home. So I'm going to stick that one on there using my PVA glue. I can turn it that way actually, and then I can't see the pen. Okay. Let's stick that one on there. Hold it down. Let that dry there. Okay, now I want another one on the other side. So I'm just going to get my pen again. Now it doesn't have to match. Just do a bit of a kind of a fiery pattern. There we go. On the other side of my dragon's head. And you can do whatever shapes you like. You might want to do big semicircles or triangles. It's totally up to you. It's your design. And everyone's design will look different. And it's supposed to look different because it's our own artwork. So can you see I'm trying to very carefully cut this out. Doesn't matter if I don't follow the lines perfectly, because I'm just kind of making a bit of a fiery shape to go on the side of my dragon's head. Okay, now add a bit more glue to the side of that. There we go, got my glue on there, and I'm going to put it on this side here. Oh, this is looking brilliant. Right, okay. Now if I wanted to, I could do a few more of the fire shapes on the side of the head to kind of really build it up. I'm going to leave mine like that for now, but I am going to add some of my stickers on to help me make the eyes. Now I don't have any googly eyes, but you might have googly eyes and you can use those instead if you want to, or you could draw your own eyes. It's totally up to you. As I said, it's your design and yours will look different to somebody else's. going to use my pen to add a little eyeball. And 2. Okay, look at that fella. He looks really good. Right. Okay, now I'm going to, this comes the tricky bit really. This is where we're going to try and attach the head of our dragon to the body. This is where we've got to use quite a lot of PVA glue. I get some PVA glue on the end here. Okay. Use my glue spreader, spread it around. So sometimes you do have to be really generous with glue. And this is one of those times. If you've got a glue gun at home, that might be helpful as well, but you'd have to do that with an adult. Okay, so this is where you've got to be. Oh no, the side of his head's come off. This is where you've got to be a little bit patient. And you've got to hold everything together for a little bit. So we count to 10. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, shall we see if it's worked? There we go. Can you see? There he is. So I have now made my very own Chinese dragon puppet. And I hope you enjoy making yours as well.